Are you struggling to get the URL of a file stored in your AWS S3 bucket? It can be a bit tricky, but don't worry. Today, we're going to walk through the steps to easily retrieve that URL. I totally understand your frustration. You've successfully created a file using an AWS Lambda function, but all you get back is an e-tag. That can be really confusing, especially when you just want to share a link to your file. Here's the specific situation we're addressing. One user mentioned that after using the put_object method, they only received an e-tag in the data object. They need the exact URL to access the file in a browser. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. So why does this happen? When you upload a file to S3, the put_object method confirms the upload, but doesn't return the URL directly. Instead, you need to construct the URL based on your bucket name and the file's key. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip on how to make your S3 files accessible with just a few clicks. To get the URL of the file stored in AWS S3, the user should first understand the structure of the S3 URL. The URL format typically looks like this: shbuck-name.s3.amazonoz.com file-name. Next, the user needs to construct the URL using the bucket name and the key of the object they just uploaded. The key is essentially the path to the file in the bucket. If the user wants to ensure that the file is publicly accessible, they should verify the bucket policy or the object's ACL settings. This will allow anyone with the URL to access the file. Finally, the user can test the URL by pasting it into a web browser. If everything is set up correctly, the file should be viewable directly in the browser. Fun fact: did you know that Amazon S3 was launched in 2006? It's been a game changer for cloud storage ever since. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by another user involves making an additional call to get the URL. They recommend using the getSignedURL method with the put_object action. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always check your bucket's permissions. Ensuring your files are public or using signed URLs can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. You now know how to get the URL of a file on AWS S3. Remember, understanding your bucket's permissions is key. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks.